Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, you've got me tonight for the Chinese Grand Prix as Nosey is off gallivanting as he has gone to a place called Bill's, which is a restaurant apparently, or it might be a man called Bill. I do not know. Actually, I know it's a restaurant because Gloucester have got one as well. But I must say, I did not like Bill's very much because the toilet was a long way away. And after I've had a big old meal, I do admit that I do live on the toilet quite often indeed. Then, anyway. Hello everyone, welcome to the Chinese Grand Prix, of course, the third and final race on of our triple tour or stop here in China, which is going to be pretty cool stuff indeed. Go for the drivers and the constructors then before we get on with the show itself. And of course, as drivers are still trying to get in the lobby, whilst that's going on, let's go through. Let's see what the state of play is in the drivers' standings. It is too good to miss. Hang on, well, I'm on gold, that's why. It is Kydal. First start, first win. Won a great race last week in Australia. R2B also made his debut last week as well. First start, first podium as well for R2B. Kydal and R2B going to be the cream of the crop in bronze tonight. Tonight or this season remains to be seen. It is of course only one race, so of course we should not be counting our chickens and all that kind of monarchy. Jay Hing said, of course, wants to avenge the championship that he so nearly won several seasons ago. Was it season 8 or season 9? I can't remember now, but Jay Hing's in third position. Rocket Lee in fourth position then on 17 points, of course, fourth position and fast up. Remember that in the top 15 score, very similar to Moto GP. I've got a lot of notifications coming up. What's going on here? All right, let me swoop. Let me get rid of all those. Then we got Russell Sky in fifth position on 14 points, 12 points for Groove Ninja, Mr. Ali on 10, 8 for Irvine, 7 for Marvsky, then 6 for Webstaff and Cirrus Mushroom on 5, 4 for Slayer, and then it got Cody on 2, and Vintage, of course, scoring the final point. Then we had a reserve score last week, which is why there's only 14 drivers instead of 15. The delay at the moment is Tom Huffy has not turned up, unfortunately, which is very disappointing indeed. And that's his second time in a row that he's not turned up, which is not good, is it? Then, and that's another strike. That's another strike towards another driver's name, then, isn't it? Maybe the game's just not very good. I don't know. But nevertheless, if you're going to sign up, then at least give admins some warning, I would say. Ferrari lead the constructors' championship, 35 points and 29 for the Red Bull Honda Power, the Honda Power unit of Red Bull. I should say I got me lines mixed up there, didn't I? 6 points adrift on the Ferrari team. Kick Sauber in third position. McLaren Mercedes on 22.17 for Haas, 14 for Aston Martin Alpine on 12. Then Mercedes have got 2, Williams have got 1. Racing Bull are the only team to not score points then. So hopefully the Racing Bull team have both drivers in this week, and they only have Halsey. And Halsey could have and should have scored some major points last week, but of course that puncture late on cost him. And of course, also same with Liam as well. What a drive for Liam as well. Liam and Halsey very unlucky. Halsey went 28 or 29 laps then around Australia. It was absolutely superb drive indeed then. And my intermediate tires fell apart after 13 laps, I think, on the first stint. And then the second stint, they only did about 15 laps. Shocker 17. And of course, my progress was blighted by a mushroom then who would not let me pass. So it's shocking stuff indeed then. The return of Muck Shatters, and says Serious Mushroom. Absolutely. Shatters has not raced for a number of seasons. Made his debut back in season 3 of ALR Bronze. And 30 Grand Prix starts, and a Grand Prix winner is Shatters as well. Then I gotta say, there's a lot of hype for Shatters and career points in bronze. 184.6 podiums as well. And of course, a driver of the day. Never had fast as that though for Shatters. And can he put that right tonight then? Also, another returnee driver here tonight in the form of Ruthless Venom, making their 4th Grand Prix start, made their debut back in season 2 of China of Bronze as well. So Ruthless Venom then also coming in as well, which is nice indeed. 19 drivers, I think, are on the grid then. Wear a nappy, sure. To be honest, I should really, shouldn't I? Maybe I should get some Huggies. Are they still called Huggies? I don't know. To be honest, I haven't worn nappies. Oh, it's Pampers, isn't it? And I do need a lot of pampering as well, don't I? Right then, as we get on with the show. Shatters, hopefully it's not a short-lived, happy to get the checker flag, says Shatters. Riley, good evening to you, Riley. And of course, Riley is on an absolute wave of momentum now, winning on Sunday in the event league, getting their first Grand Prix, getting Riley's first Grand Prix win of his career in ALR. And then, of course, winning last night to get his first career in silver. And, of course, Riley has been one of those drivers that has just put the work in and is absolutely reaping the benefits. And have I still got the, whoops, I haven't got the live broadcast on. Shocking stuff indeed. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Goodness gracious me, Sean. To be fair, like, this is usually my day off, so that's what I'm going with as well. I've just finished watching the Formula E race from Mexico on Saturday. And Nick Custy won for the first race for Citroen, which is pretty cool, isn't it? I must say, when I think of Citroen, though, I do think of like a rally team. I don't really think of an open wheel Formula team, but pretty cool to see actually. Citroen in Formula E. Only 10 cars, only 10 teams in Formula E these days, though, isn't there? Which, to be honest, I think that 10 teams is not enough in any Formula. Hello to Cody. Good luck, all. Hopefully, a better race this week for Cody. Then, because Cody had a lot of pace actually last week. Did go for a two-stop strategy, which may have hampered Cody there, but he was coming back through the field before having a couple of gremlins, unfortunately for Cody. I must say, there was a lot of drivers that had a lot of hardships last week, didn't they, or in Australia? And so I think that a lot of them have probably got a bit of revenge on their mind, haven't they? As out of the pits does come Jay Hinks, and of course getting on the podium last week as well. I must say that I missed a lot of last week's race because I was actually struggling near the back of the field. As it just shows how incredible that some of these drivers are. It's not just in terms of I said it in the event league last year as well. It's not just in terms of the pace there. It's also in terms of the keeping their tires together, there's Jay Hinks there getting a bit squirty on the posterior end and going off the circuit for the kick. Sauber car, of course, is the last season that we're going to have Sauber in the ALR Grand Prix racing before they transform into the Audi Formula 1 team, which I cannot wait there. It's great to have another manufacturer and another engine supplier on the Formula 1 grid. Absolutely. Of course, I think we're up to 5 engine suppliers now as well, which is really cool stuff indeed. Of course, after Honda coming out, going in, then that's just been their MO in Formula 1, hasn't it, really, for Honda? They always seem to lead the sport when they're on a high, don't they? Same with Renault as well. Well, I haven't said that. Renault, of course, haven't been on the high since the end of the V8 era back in 2013. To be honest, so it's been a pretty horrific V6 hybrid era for the Renault team. Then should all have a better race. Ginger's not here, said Serious Mushroom. How dare you? How dare you indeed? I think I was clean. Mostly. I bottled the qualified session. I was so happy to get my time on the board, and then I ended up, I think, 14th from the grid, something like that. Drivers behind me, I don't think was even trying, to be honest. So it just shows my skill level, doesn't it? Anyway, this is the first dry qualifying session of the event. Now, of course, both gold and silver last night and the night before have, of course, had wet weather conditions there. So it's great to see the cars then on them are going to be tip-top shape then as well. Whether we get a wet or dry race or not remains to be seen, but that is the beauty about this, as I do not know, because of course we're not privy to the weather, are we? Unlike the drivers who have had a look and seen what is going on there. I think we had a wet race in Australia. We did have a wet race in Australia, didn't we, guys, last week as well? So it'd be interesting if we get a full dry race here tonight in Bronson. And I'm wondering if the wet race last week there very much tipped the scales potentially to the likes of our first-time winner Kydal and RTB. Well, that remains to be seen as well there. Of course, wet weather and dry weather races are completely different kettle of fish. Why is there a kettle of fish? I do not know. I don't know why you put fish in a kettle, because as a ghost in Jay Hings there, as one of the Aston Martins was kind of getting in the way there. How's it? Good evening, lads. Good luck, all. Great stuff indeed. Then Slayer then. Hello, everyone. What's up? Mr. Sean loved your Facebook post last week. I keep forgetting who's on my Facebook. Shameful stuff indeed. I was a bit tipsy on the old beer and all that kind of stuff, and I decided to perform a bit of a rhythmic. I don't know. Basically, I did a bit of a dance on the old TikTok as I'm trying to become a TikTok star. Albeit I can't get. I was going to stream to TikTok last night, but unfortunately I failed on that one. Unfortunately, which is such a shame. Of course, ALR stream, not myself, because I think that's far too much fright. Then Halloween is back in October. Jay Hings goes fast on the 34.9. to set us on our journey. But then Cody once again there showing some pace there, 8/10 a second in front there. It's a good 17 there for Bridge, as we've got Rosa Sky, two-time pole sitter in bronze for a Sky, but has never had a Grand Prix win. Can he put that right tonight then? Marsky, a former runner-up in silver, bronze I should say, twice in season 8 and season number 3 there for Marsky. As we've got Liam there currently 5th at the moment. Of course, Liam also felt hard done by after a great result in great race pace, but didn't get the result that he probably would have been expecting there. On board with Ruthless Venom making his 4th appearance in bronze tonight there. Across the line going 4th fastest and in front of his teammate as well then for Venom. Then of course as we've stated now throughout the course of the event, the reserve drivers do not score points, and here comes the winnie of Vintage car 77 as well. He's stolen Bottas's number there. Jay Hings Vintage has that, so he's going to have to give that back next season. So I wonder what number Vintage will have next season. Of course, I don't think many people care about numbers, but I certainly do. Having said that though, I would prefer to go back to the old style of numbering in F1 cars. We've got number 77. Wow, Mr. Elite, good stuff indeed there. I think Mr. Elite would rather have 44, but of course that has been taken by Sir Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, and statistically the greatest driver in Formula 1 as it stands at the moment there. But hoping for a decent season for Hamilton next season, but I have a real bad feeling. And of course his RGB is going lawnmower in there, and of course these cars are perfect for lawnmowering, almost anyway. You don't want to get beached though. Shadows is returning back to form there, 6-time podium sitter in ALR Grand Prix racing, and stealing Perez's number, and he's 4th at the moment there. Is Shadows coming back? He hasn't missed the beat, has he? Shadows hasn't. Talking to beat RGB then was lawnmower, and he's 5th fastest at the moment. Camera Racer, good evening to you, sir, and of course hello to all racers out there as well. I've got a notification about Arsenal against Chelsea. That's fantastic. But of course I hope you're going to be staying with me and watching this as well, as how you can watch the highlights later on. And of course, who wants to watch Chelsea anyway? Goodness gracious me! You don't want to put yourself for that kind of pain, do you? I would say the same about Arsenal, but then again, I'm still waiting for Arsenal to bottle it. But there you go. Goodness me, I can't say much either, of course, being a Liverpool fan. So we kind of just stumbled to the league last year. Well, we didn't say stumbled, but it was more of a. I think it was more of a. There's a bit of lag going on there from Kai Dao. Hopefully that gets cleared up in the race, because that could be a bit difficult. Love the helmet design, by the way, from Kai Dao, but currently third at the moment. Marsky is currently gone fastest out, 11 minutes ago in this qualifying session out there. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Liverpool, of course, they won the league last year, but I feel that, of course, they only won the league because it was more of a Klopp thing rather than a. Rather than a Andre Slot kind of performance. But that's me, and I'm a Jurgen Klopp fanboy. So Cirrus Mushroom starting us up as well. Lovely red helmet, a lovely red tin there for Cirrus Mushroom there. Just watching Irvine in the McLaren there. Of course, like me, who's probably quite old. Well, I am very old. Watching from when there was another Irvine. Of course, Sir Edmund Irvine driving for Jordan and Ferrari, and of course the Jaguar team as well. Between '93 to 2002. Of course, a man who never minced his words then. But however, this Irvine, I got to say, much more impressive specimen of a man there. Irvine is in the McLaren there. San has gone fastest, and of course San there rolled the dice for dry tyres last week. It didn't go well, but he was against the 8-ball, wasn't he? After issues in the race, and I think he was just kind of throwing the pass against the wall and see if it stuck there. Anarchy Reaper, good evening to you, my good sir. Hope you're having a lovely day. You could always watch Chelsea instead and show instead of the show Made in Chelsea. Is that still going on? I must admit, the last show I watched something like that was it like Made in Essex or something like that? Was it Made in Essex? I don't know. I don't watch that kind of stuff at Real Aston. I don't watch anything, to be fair. What do I actually watch? Probably Sky Sports News on the loop. How the far turned out for Irvine coming up to the line. He's being closely monitored by a Mushroom. There is the Mushroom in the background. Irvine goes 11th fastest, while Cirrus Mushroom hops up to 6th position on a 33.7 so far. San is still currently on pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. Let me get my stat book out here, and I've got to get me Got to get me old specs on as well. Sanders never had a pole position there in his 27 starts in bronze for Sandon. But of course, I think that last season was one of the drivers that I thought made some incredible strides in this McLaren team, which is now being Slayer getting getting close to that ominous wall there on the outside. But of course, it's Liam's off the circuit there. I think we just jumped on board with him. I wonder if he was just trying to get out of the way of that kick Sauber there. As a lovely Esteban Ocon inspired crash helmet there from Liam. And I must say that I think that Ocon's career in real F1 might be in a bit of danger zone at the moment there. Because I think that getting outperformed quite, I wouldn't say too badly from Ollie Behrman. But I do think he was a bit ominous, wasn't he, for some of the race in last season there, and potentially Haas might want to be looking at another driver. But then again, Ollie Behrman might be going to Ferrari to maybe replace Lewis Hamilton, which would be quite cool, wouldn't it, for 2027? I'm not sure if you really want to go to Ferrari. Then it's I got to say, it's a bit like that second Red Bull seat at the moment. It's becoming a bit of a poison chalice, isn't it? Hopefully Isaac Hadjar could do well. Here comes R2 Beat. Of course, I don't think that the Red Bull seat in bronze is a poison chalice. And of course, a strong start to the season for R2B getting second in Australia. Marsky also got 7 points on the board, as well as R2B has abandoned his time and come into the garage. I keep hopping on board with drivers that have just finished their laps. So as Groove Ninja up into third position in the Alpine there, stealing my number, Groove Ninja. It's absolutely shocking stuff indeed there. Or stealing Nick de Vries's number, or maybe even Esteban Ocon's. I was told about numbers, and of course I'm quite a big old nerd when it comes to numbers. Currently at the moment, both kick Saubers are down in 16th and 17th position now. Webb Staffen in the final stage of Australia. I must admit, when I was driving the race, I took in a lot more than what I normally do when I'm commentating. Maybe I should just drive the race, shouldn't I? Perhaps not. Of course, we don't want the medical car going around in circles, because that's where I belong, in the medical car, mainly because I always cause myself a medical emergency. Here's Real Ashton there coming down the 1.2 long straight, then of course not 1.5, which I misinformed you all on a Saturday, nope, on a Friday, nope, on Monday, gosh. On Monday, of course, 1.5 is in Fuji. Fuji. 1.2 is here then. What is the longest straight though? I still need to know what the longest straight in F1 is. Of course, we had Las Vegas was thrown up by KD, and then it was the 2.2 straight there from Halsey in Azerbaijan. I still want to know who's got the longest straight there. I would Google it, but let's be honest about it, then I'll forget it. As San is currently second one, because Rosa Sky has got on pole position with 6.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. And Rosa Sky, of course, a two-time pole sitter already in bronze, and he's looking quite hot on it at the moment. But having said that, just as we talked about that, Marsky's gone purple in the second intermediate split time there. Good evening, Sean. Shocking stuff indeed, says KD. Absolutely. Of course, what wasn't shocking there was KD's impressive performance last night. Jay Hinks is up tonight. KD's impressive performance of getting a podium in silver last night. And of course, after having some issues in the opening stage of the race, and it was a bit of a messy opening lap in silver. I haven't actually, as Kaida's left the session, I'm not surprised by that. Of course, the winner last week in Australia, because he was hopping around there. And Marsky has gone pole position then for the Chinese Grand Prix. Under 6 minutes to go in this qualifying session. There's still quite a lot to play for. Here's Shadow, so he's a 10th of a second up there, and has improved, I think he's improved his time, but not his position there. Jay Hinks has hopped up to 9th position there. Here comes Venom, he's found a quarter of a second in the second intermediate split time as well then. As he goes into turn 16, of course, you don't want to run too wide there. That was very neat and precise there for Venom, and goes onto the 4th row of the grid for the Haas car. And only a 10th of a second away from Shadows as well. Both reserves there on row 4 on the grid. That's lovely jubbly indeed there. Cracking stuff. Bridges still in the pits at the moment there. Halsey out on circuit there. Love the pink helmet from Halsey there, of course. A man after my own heart. I do love a pink helmet. Real Ashton has done one. I think he's done one run there, and he's had enough. He's come into the garage. Remember, Vettel did one run. Did he do one run here? I can't remember. Here's Webb Staffen then. What a final stint there for Webb Staffen last week in Australia. Webb Staffen came from quite a long way back on that final 10 laps or so in Australia. He looked after those tyres absolutely impeccably. I wish I could look after my tyres. The only tyre I look after is the one around my gut. But Webb Stafford, an incredible performance last week, though, and hooked himself right up to 10th position. I think he was one of the fastest drivers on that final stint there for Webb Stafford, and I must say, pretty impressive stuff indeed. I've got a big old ulcer in my lip. That's not nice, is it? I've only just found that when I was giving my lip a little bit of a lick. Marski pole position so far. Of course, Marski has got a lot of success in a bronze end, but he's never been on pole position as Marski. So can he get his debut pole position here tonight? I'm beside myself about that, because I must say that I thought that Marski already had a pole position there. I might have to check that then. Longest straight, by the way, is Baku. 2.2 kilometres. Thank you very much, KD. Yes. So I think Halsey said Baku as well, I believe. Here comes Webb Stafford into the final turn as well. Kaida is back in the session. That's good stuff for the Ferrari team. Webb Stafford goes 16 fastest there. Of course, I think the magic for Webb Stafford would certainly be in the race itself. And what about San then? So San has gone, he's improved to a 32.9 there by 300 a second away from pole position, but it's not enough at the moment. Whilst Mushroom is just completing this up by the looks of things, and is currently in 6th position at the moment there. Yeah, so Baku then is the longest straight for 2.2 kilometres. And I'm going to remember that, I hope, for the race in Azerbaijan, if we get the race in Azerbaijan, because I think it's one of the random tracks where we spin the wheel 20 minutes before the start of the race. Quite interesting, actually. A lot of drivers that we've been interviewing over the past couple of days are not a fan of this wheel, are they? Of course, from a spectator's point of view, I absolutely love it. Of course, a bit of monopoly in the game is never a bad thing, in my opinion. But of course, these drivers there would like to know every inch of the circuit, and also would like to know exactly what they're going to do before the start of the Grand Prix as well, because as KD said last night, practicing on 3 tracks is not ideal, is it? So San there has gone quite early in this one, and I don't think he's got enough time to go back out, so San could potentially is going to potentially not be on the track when the track is at its best. Then, of course, when you're coming across the line, then that is we got Marsky there just doing a bit of grass cutting as well. Mr. Elite then starting his lap then, so let's go on board Mr. Elite. Slayer's also starting his lap as well. So San is out of rhythm here. Kaidal hopefully can get out of the circuit in just a jiffy. Then one Ferrari is out at the moment. Then that's Sarah Smusher. A bit like San, Sarah Smusher, I think, has got a little too early then. Story of my life. But Sarah Smusher is now into the pits. I think that's both Ferraris. Well, Kaidal is out of the pits now. He might have a chance for pole position for Kaidal. Who got pole position last week? I hear you out said. I think it was Kaidal. It was Kaidal getting his first win and his first pole position in his debut there. Messed up the last run there. Stuff it, says Sarah Smusher. P12, stop the count, says Real Ashton. Of course, Real Ashton has only done one run and then caught it a day then. And he's got his feet up in the garage, I think. They're enjoying himself at the Williams hospitality there with James Valves, no doubt there. But I do think that unfortunately for Ashton, he might drop down a few positions here. We're just watching Mr. Elite at the moment now. One of the most experienced drivers in the ALR, of course, been in gold. Of course, I think he finished third in gold back in season 5. Remember, one half of the Constructors Champions and one half of the last ever Renault Constructors Champions as well. Incredible stuff indeed there for Mr. Elite. Of course, drove in silver, and of course drove in bronze here now. And Mr. Elite goes 9th fastest in the Aston Martin, and his unfortunate Real Aston has tumbled down into 7th position there. Rosa Sky out on circuit as Span starts that. Now you can see glancing over to the right hand side there, just see what his pit board was saying. And as now then we've got half a minute left in this qualifying session before the end of this one. As Slayer then, I think Slayer's full of fuel here, isn't he? Because he's going round and round and very much using it like a weather qualifying session on board of Liam. Then that car very uncompliant there in the middle part of the lap here for Liam in the Haas car, currently down in 18th position on the grid. Then just seeing what Rosa Sky can do. It's not Rosa Sky I'm looking at, I think I'm meant to be looking at Irvine, but at the moment Irvine coming up to the line now to start his lap. He has indeed done. That is it, so it's all or nothing now. And look at that Alpine just very much right at the curbs. Groove Ninja goes full fast and improves by a quarter of a second, but he's on the second row of the grid. So that's unfortunate. What about that second Mercedes? I'm looking for that second Mercedes, and I can't see. Oh, is Cody going 6 faster than he split the 2 Ferraris? The mistake from Serious Mushroom has been costly, and now Mushroom's down into 10th position, and he is going to start directly behind his teammate Kaido, who has started up. He's a 10th of a second down there. Second has coming through now for Ruthless. No, it isn't Ruthless. I apologise. It's Liam who has gone 15th fastest there. Liam has Shatters on his return. Is up into third. Magnificent stuff for the Racing Bull driver. Magical stuff indeed there. Absolutely mega. As we got Halsey in the second Racing Bull. He's gone 7th fastest there. Great stuff indeed there. Rosa Sky does not improve and is currently 4th on the grid there. Jay Hinks coming in the final corner, and Jay Hinks goes 6th fastest there. But Vintage right up to 6 as well. That's a great qualifying for Vintage there. Marsky does not improve, but he's still on pole position as Kaido. As R2 Beat is now alongside him. So 1-2 for the Red Bull team there. On board with Kaido then as he comes up to the line there. Slayer's finished off his lap now, and he's done a 17 there. It's up to 17, I should say. And Kaido across the line goes 8 fastest for Kaido, but that is not ideal for Kaido. That was far from perfect preparation for the Ferrari team. Irvine across the line, up into 8 for Irvine, into the top 10. Both McLarens into the top 10 as well. But it's Marsky's first pole position of his career in bronze, and I can't believe I'm saying that. 110th qualifying for Marsky, and he is now on pole position as the 6-time Grand Prix winner. Magical stuff indeed there for Marsky, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered then. Red Bull pole position, Marsky pole position as well, and well, I think he's going to be delighted with that. I'm sure he is. And it's a Red Bull 1-2. How are the Red Bulls going to play this one then? Are they going to work together? Remember last night, Jinner dived into turn 1. And of course, it all went a bit to pots, didn't it, in turn 1 last night there. And let's see how this one transpires here tonight there. 2,700 a second separates the top 3. That's an incredibly tight qualifying session. Red Bull, Mercedes and Sun then. Sun trying to get revenge after a disappointed last week, and then Shatters on his return in third position. Magical stuff indeed. I've pressed the go out. Goodness me. I couldn't get a good lap in. Kept invalidating, says Slayer. Unfortunately, of course, we've seen Slayer going for 2 or 3 time laps there, didn't he? And he had a lot of fuel in as well, did Slayer. So he could have been up a little higher than that then. Quite Canto Silver get a dry qualifying. Same with gold, to be honest, and we've also got a dry race as well then, which is good stuff indeed there. Vintage, what a performance. Giving me the eyes as well. I love it. Good luck everyone there for Vintage. Quite high up there. Remember, Vintage had a very storied career in bronze, hasn't he? Making his 132nd Grand Prix start tonight there. Of course, a podium sitter as well, and 4-time driver of the day, and only 6 retirements in 131 starts. That's absolutely redonkulous. I think I've had 6 retirements in one season. Magical stuff indeed. Medical? Hopefully not. As long as you drivers don't make me keel over. Fantastic. Oh, I've got a club card deal. Great. All right, let's get rid of all that. As also, good evening to you, Vintage, as well. It's great to see you in the comments section. Good luck to Vintage. I'd like to see Vintage get a good result here tonight there. But, of course, I'm not trying to play favourites or anything like that. Of course, that is absolutely shameful stuff from me. Right, we've got 19 drivers on the grid then. Let's take a look then. Of course, hard and medium tyres there. It's being represented on the grid. R2 Beat and Red Bull have split their strategy here. That's interesting development now. As, of course, Marsky's gone medium. R2 Beat has gone hard tyres. Cody has also gone hard as well. We have also... Oh, goodness me. We've also got Ruthless also getting on the hard tyres along with Mr. Elite, and Liam and Slayer on the hard tyres. Everyone else on the medium compound of tyres here at the Shanghai International Race Circuit. It's a 1-2 for Red Bull. I do not see, famous last words, I do not see R2 Beat going for a wild lunge on his teammate into turn 1. I think the Red Bulls are going to play it very safe here. Of course, R2 Beat, a strong start to the season, and R2 Beat is surely going to be in compensation for the World Championship, as is Marsky as well. But Marsky did have a bit of a troublesome time in Australia, but it's a completely different set of circumstances now for the first for his first pole position of his career. Let's see how Marsky does it. Serious Russia, who started it straight away? I am absolutely in the mud now, says Serious Russia. I got to be honest, I don't actually. It's a shameful stuff. We could have rewind the stream back and named shame. But before I do that, let's go for the grid, shall we? Warski, his first pole position of his career, fantastic. R2B alongside number 1, hoping for a second podium in his second start. Third position is Sam there, called Sam there, after a disappointing Australian Grand Prix. Then same with Marski as well. Two drivers then this I think are going to be trying to get some good results here tonight. Shatters on his return to ALR, then doing a Kimi Räikkönen impression here. All of them are weaving. He's not at all. He is very cool and calm and calculated, making his very first Grand Prix start tonight. Rosa Sky in 5th position there. Groove Ninja in 6th with Vintage in 7th. Irvine in 8th position. Kai Down, of course, left the session in qualifying. Had to rush out then, and of course his final run was not prepared ideally. Jay Hinks, of course, getting on the podium in Australia, down in 10th. Howell's in 11th. Bridge is in 12th position. 13th position is Sirius Mercedes, who's been hamstrung by not preparing the car. 14th position is Venom with 15th Mr. Elite then. Real Aston flying to his box there, and well overshot it there. Sorry, Ashton, I really put you in the mud there. Liam in 17th position, Slayer in 18th, and Webb Staffen 19 cars on the grid for the start of the Shanghai International Race Circuit in China. There they come then. 5 lights that are going to release these beasts and 19 cars on the grid then. And it's going to be lights out. Here we go in China. And a good start there from the 2 Red Bulls. And they've gone ghostly actually. R2B has had a fantastic start. Marski's had a so-so. And there's a spin and Shatters there on his return has spun the car. And there's cars going all over the circuit. It's been a mess there. And that's a Ferrari right in the back there. That's serious motion there. And his difficult start has been really compounded here. Oh dear. And Shadows all the way down in 17th position there. Oh goodness gracious me then. So a difficult start like we had last night. Vince is down in 5th position there, down 11th position. Shadows is trying to recover now. And look at that, there we got 3 abreast as that Ferrari kind of diving up the inside, I think it was there. 3 into turn 6, so that's not ideal. And now then is the Haas car going on the outside of Venom as Vintage is down to 11th position. 12th is Halsey Kaidal, last week's Grand Prix winner, down in 14th position. A terrible start for the championship leader. Of course, didn't go too well in qualifying. Halsey down in position as well. Venom at 4 positions. Mr. Elite has flown off the grid. He's up 6 positions already in this one. Sheriff's Merchant down to the back of the field. A terrible start for both the Ferraris. A horrific start for the pole sitter of Marski as well. Down 3 positions there. And unfortunately, that is not ideal there. Oh no, and Sands off the circle at the very precarious turn 12 or 13 or somewhere around there. And Sand, who's had a good qualifying performance here, is down into 9th position. It's been a horror show start there. As the 2 McLarens, and again very close to the back of the pole sitter Marski. And who's that going up the inside? That's Halsey having a sniff on the inside of Vintage. Vintage there just cut across the racing ball driver. Shadows trying to get past Slayer. As goodness gracious me, it's like Back to the Future. Of course, Slayer and Shadows there fighting all those many moons ago in bronze there. As fighting again then in 16th and 17th finish there. So, as we got Webb Staffen down the back of the field, unfortunately at the moment there. As Sirius Russell covered 1 place there, but it's a difficult start indeed then. Have I got my sound on then? That's yes, I have indeed. Oh, for goodness, but I had a horrible feeling then. As we got more, we got more overtaken then. Sand trying to get back past Halsey here. Sand there, we do not know what happened. Did he get a helping hand? As you can see, he's all over the gearbox of that racing bull. He's got to go on the outside here. Kaidal also is also quick at the moment then, but he's down in 13th position there. Oh, I've swallowed my tongue. And unfortunately, for Sand then, of course, it's been a spin there last night. And the Mercedes drivers all the way down in 12th position there. Of course, this is going to be a tyre limited circuit. It's going to be that's going to be a major factor in this Grand Prix. The outcome to this Grand Prix is going to be about looking out for those tyres, about where to go on the medium, where to go on a 2 or 1 stop. The 2 stop did not work last night, though, did it? Unfortunately for Mumford. Of course, Mumford did have the speed, but just couldn't keep the tyres in operating window. And of course, Riley did have the consistency, speed, and of course, he also had the taking care of those tyres as well. The front then, R2B is all over the gearbox. No, it's a Groove Ninja all over the gearbox, and Groove Ninja takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix for Groove Ninja, making his 11th appearance there. He's never finished on the podium in his career, a bronze so far, and he's already taken the lead. Then Shadows and Mushroom, of course, another old heads of ALR, going side by side into turn 14, and Groove Ninja set the fast up of the Grand Prix. And look at that, as he is now rocketing away on those medium compound tyres. We'll keep an eye on the scrub of those those tyres, and of course, those tyres is going to be a factor here, and I know that a lot of you don't care about tyres, but there is a tyre formula these days in Grand Prix racing there, since you got rid of the refueling. Rosa Sky is now past Marsky, and Marsky is down into full finish now. A difficult start for the second Red Bull driver. There are the tyre strategies on the left-hand side, and Marsky is just falling down the order. But they have left Rosa Sky, then Rosa Sky is out of DRS range, and that is not going to be good at all. There's sudden contact between the two cars as Kaidan is up to 12th position now, passes San, and San down into 13th, and it's been a brutal start to the Grand Prix for San, unfortunately, and there's going to be a lot of frustration there for the Mercedes driver. Third on the grid, they're down in 13th there, and potentially could and should have been a fight-in for that Grand Prix win, but no, a terrible opening lap then for San, and a terrible opening lap for majority of the drivers here, and unfortunately they're trying to come back from the field now. Here comes Groove Ninja, then followed by the Red Bull of R2B as we go down the back straight. Of course, that banked turn at 12 can be very precarious indeed, or turn 13 now, as I'm getting my corners mixed up there. Groove Ninja of a Red Bull inspired crash out with there, but of course, look at this, there's Rosa Sky flying right in there. Incredible stuff indeed there. Real Ashton losing out then to Slayer, who's made his way up to centre position. Look how condensed this field is. This is incredible stuff indeed there. Halsey all over the gearbox of Vintage there. Everyone is within DRS range of each other now. That's how condensed this field is here in Bronson, and now up into 10th finishing. There goes Halsey. He is through, and up into 10th finishing. He's back in the points. Wait, the top 15 get points there. Come on, Meek. Get it with it. And now we've got Sirius Brusher and Liam fighting for position there. Sirius Brusher going to go on the inside, as Liam unfortunately just does not have the grip on those hard tires, but he bangs the Ferrari, and he's had damage on... No, listen, it's okay now. I thought there was damage on the end plate of the Haas car, as we're covering now, and look at that. Slayer is... Shadows wants to get past. Is he going to go on the inside of turn number 6? And no, he doesn't. Kaido. Oh, the Ferrari is off the circuit, and Kaido. Oh, goodness me. Technical problems in qualifying for the Ferrari, and now, unfortunately, issues in the Grand Prix while recovering, but that's not ideal. San is also off the... I thought Sam was off the circuit as well, but he's a ghost at the moment. Goodness gracious me. And that's not PG, as Liam and Sam there are inside each other. Goodness gracious me. Oh, goodness me. Sirius Basham is outside of DRS range of the top 11 then, and so just on board of Liam. Then, of course, Liam had the pace in Australia. He unfortunately came away with nothing with the puncture very late on, and of course we could see punctures and all kinds of anarchy later on in this race, and so this one could be a slow burner. At the moment, it's not a slow burner. It's all kinds of anarchy is going on as R2B has taken the lead then on the hard shot Red Bull there, and through he goes. Ruthless is on the inside of Mr. Elite there, as Ruthless is trying to get through Mr. Elite as I repelled the attack ever so slightly. Might have to go from attack to defense here. Liam is past San, and up to 2:30 position as well, and goodness me, that back straight is becoming a favourite overtaking opportunity, which normally is around this circle anyway. Incredible. Shadows all over the gearbox of San, who's trying to recover, but is having a very difficult time out there at the moment. Look at that, Cody Bridge is now up into 6th position, getting past Jay Hings. And of course, I think it's at the hard tyres now starting to come. It's starting to be the preferred race tyre here. Webb stopping on the outside, then he's going to get past Shadows. He has got past Shadows, but he's been blocked there by San. Jay Hings and Mr. Elite have also swapped positions as well. Keeping an eye on this one, because up the inside goes Shadows. No, as Webb Staffing keeps the position. Incredible. Back here. Whoa! As I'm not sure if Jay Hings had a swapper there, but Ruthless Venom went into the back of Jay Hings. I'm not sure he's got damage. We're on board with the Haas car now. Hopefully we'll see a front shot of the Haas car and see if there's any damage on that car. Let's have a look then. Don't think so, is there? As you can see that, who is that there? Just having a sniff on the, that's Halsey in 10th position as well. Remember, the top 15 score points. R2B is now starting to stretch the lead then. Groove Ninja's electric start to this race, and he started to drop off ever so slightly in this one now, and I'm wondering if that is because the hard tyres, as I mentioned in this earlier on this lap, as Webb Stappen is past San, and San dropping down into 15th position. A horrific start for the Mercedes driver. The other Mercedes of Bridgestone, Mercedes, just like Red Bull, split their strategies. However, the drivers on the medium tyres have had a really tough start to this race set. Unfortunately, as Shadows has dropped down to 17th now. Slayer is through. Back at the front then. I think the Groove Ninja just needs to stay within DRS at the moment, and just basically gets himself towed along nicely. Of course, as well, we've also got to factor in. Well, no, we can't. Oh, and there's contact between Webstappen and Liam, and unfortunately, we only seen the end of that. But Webstappen back at the back of the field. Then after a bit of fighting tooth and nail, then unfortunately going into turn one, I think Maldonado and Button crashed there in 2014. Well, crash definitely came the blows, very similar to that battle we just seen there, and that is unfortunate. And I think Jay Hings are really struggling with the rear traction on that kick Sauber, as Venom once again then all over the gearbox of Jay Hings here. The gap at the front has got it to 1.4 seconds. Groove Ninja's either made a mistake or his tyres have completely gone. Bridge is now fighting on the inside of Irvine. He is through. Then we've also got Venom and Jay Hinks getting through as well. As Cody's off the circuit though. As that is going to be costly because Mr. Lee is having a look as well. But Cody slams the door shut on the toes of Mr. Lee. But I think that Cody's going to have a bad run then off that banking of turn 13. And now then he's going to be looking over his shoulder as that Haas car of Liam going very wayward indeed. That Halsey having a sniff on the inside of Jay Hinks, and you can see we've got three abreast then, and now they're going to break. Oh my goodness me! As it's Ruthless again on the loud pedal there, on the not so loud pedal these days, and it's in ninth finish now. Halsey's still there, and Vintage also showing some performance in that Williams as well, which is great to see. The second Williams of Real Ashton currently down in 19th finish at the moment. Halsey having a look there, but now on the inside goes Venom. He is through, and he's up into that finish there. James tried, no, he isn't going to go through because look, there's Halsey on the inside. Magical stuff indeed there for Halsey. Through he goes, and into ninth finish there. Oh, Jay Hinks again, squirrely. Oh, and now with the size of contact potentially, and Vintage there could also strike whilst the iron's hot then. As Jay Hinks there, just about keeping that position, I say. Wow. Gap in the front is now up into almost 2.25 seconds. That's incredible speed from RTP at this stage of proceedings. Of course, going on the hard tires, and he's not seeing this anarchy behind him. As RTP is currently having a lovely Wednesday evening drive, isn't he, here in Shanghai, which is great indeed there for the Red Bull contingent. I'm not so if it's so good for the rest of the drivers, as I've got to say, it's all anarchy behind these drivers at the moment. So now Bridge is recovered, Cody's recovered then, and let's see that if he can now get past Irvine down this back straight as well. I think the hard tires now starting to come into their own then, with Mr. Lee and Venom now making themselves up into 7th and 8th position there. Liam also starting to find some pace as well. We've also got Sledden, which I think is going to be a major factor. Cody going up the inside there, braking a bit late there, Cody gets out, and ever so slightly nudged Irvine out the way there. As that might have been a bit, as I think that Cody's let Irvine back through. He has indeed. Yes, that might have been a bit robust there for Cody, but he's played fair, and now he's got more DRS. Both drivers have DRS as they go into turn one. Cody retakes the position and gets past Irvine as Irvine returns the favour and going on the back of the diffuser of Cody into turn one, which is very similar to what happened in turn number 13. There's 7/10 of a second red one. Marsky from Marsky, and there is Marsky. Then Rosenskite in third position at the moment. And we'll come back down in a minute because there's more. Oh my goodness gracious me, what's going on here? It's a traffic jam on a Monday morning out of turn 4. Liam is now the lead car, but then his Shatters, Kaidan, who has got some speed then. Oh goodness me! And into the back of Liam goes Shatters there. And I'm wondering if Shatters didn't see that Ferrari there, because he might have been surprised just as much as Kaidan there. But Kaidan in 50 finished is getting very fruity at the back of this crocodile at the moment. Incredible stuff indeed, though. It's goodness gracious me, I must have thought I was going to be an airplane crash there. As we got back here, Cody now leads this one, and Cody is now caught right to the back of Marsky already. He is flying out there, the Mercedes driver. And remember that Cody was very quick in Australia, and could have and should have scored much more points than what he did for Cody. So he's aiming to score major points here. Look, there's the Red Bull driver. Yes, that is R2 He is serenely leading this Grand Prix at the moment. And then, goodness me, I think he's going to watch the back and going to watch back. Like, what was going on? Is this the same race? My goodness me. 4 seconds the gap is now. Goodness gracious me. That is almost out of the the undercut territory. Don't know. Let's talk about that in a minute there as he goes. It's Liam fighting. I don't think Liam wants to be fighting too hard here, as he got more swapperoos. It's now into turn 2 or 1. I don't know where I am. goes Rosa Sky and up into second position. Groove Ninja dropping down to third there into the pit. Cirrus Masher is in very early on at the moment there. KD then with a crocodile as well, of course. Who would have thought we would talk about crocodiles on a Formula 1 stream then? But that's exactly what we are then, like the modern day Steve Irwin. If only I was, and that man was an absolute legend. Back here, and Rosa Sky is now leading this queue of cars. Rufus Venom's about second and a half back among this. So Rosa Sky, Groove Ninja, Marsky, Cody, and Irvine, and Mr. Elite all fighting for second position among that. Of course, the undercut is very powerful around here, but the earlier you come in, the more likely that you're going to have to do a two-stop strategy. Oh gosh, what's happened? There's a shunt somewhere, and it's kind of off the circuit. Has he come to blows with Sam there? Where is San? San is... I can't maneuver the camera, unfortunately. But San out of the Grand Prix. The car has been taken off. It's a virtual safety car, and that's not going to help anyone, unfortunately. But San out of the race. That's, I think that's his second retirement of the season for San, unfortunately. Both Ferraris are having a very difficult start to this Chinese Grand Prix. Oh dear then, so not ideal then. Kaidal, Kaidal and San have had a very difficult start indeed, and there's one of the racing bulls, I think that was Shadows in the background, just going very high on that curve there. Of course, Carter Kane crashed there, didn't he, in 2011, I think it was. Oh no, it wasn't 2011, sorry, as into the pits there comes Rosa Sky. So Rosa Sky is into the pits then. It's 2005 Carter Kane crashed there, of course, which I know that all of you will have known that. Cody on the inside, but look at that, up and under, there he is, Marsky, great stuff indeed there, of course, that is what 110 Grand Prix does for you then. Very experienced there is Marsky, two-time runner up there. Kiki, R2B is definitely sandbagging in silver then. He is absolutely flying out there at the moment. His R2B, of course, he was second in Australia, and goodness gracious me, and the sandbags have flown off here tonight then. 5 seconds the gap is now. That is an incredible lead then. That is the, I think that's the biggest lead we've had seen over the last two nights. Incredible stuff from R2B. And also what's incredible is I haven't got sweaty at the moment, which is all cool stuff indeed. Here's Liam. Out the inside of Shadows then. It's been a tough old start to Shadows, and of course to Shadows' return to ALR. Webb Stafford also has been involved in some shenanigans as well. However, of course, it's not where he started, it's where he finished. Sadly for Shadows, he did start 4th, but he's currently down in 11th at the moment, but he's still got a number of laps to rectify that, hasn't he? And he got a short shot straight there. So Slayer a second and a half back, and I'm wondering if Slayer would rather not be in that gaggle of cars. I was looking at this, Irvine and Cody going side by side, wheel to wheel. That's a big old lockup for the race leader. Hopefully that hasn't flat spotted his tyres there. Irvine on the outside, but Cody's going to have the inside. He does have the inside there. And of course, Cody should have better traction. However, I have been beside myself there, and I've been proven wrong. Irvine is, as into the pits comes the man who's third in the race. But yes, I've been proven wrong there. And what's happened? Cody's in the pits as well. Cody's in the pits on the hard tyres. Now that is interesting. The Mercedes driver into the pits on the hard tyres. So is this has to be a two-stop strategy now. So is Cody going hard, medium, medium? I think he is, because there's no way that those medium tyres are going to get to the end from there. Interesting strategy. Out of the pits now comes Groove Ninja. I must admit there, that is a... he's going to be quick though, isn't he? Remember in Australia, he was very quick coming through the field, was Cody. I reckon Cody's decided he's had enough of that. He's had enough of this, all this battling then, which has probably ruined his tyres thinking about it. And because of that, I think that Cody's now elected to a two-stop strategy, and is now going to go very aggressive indeed, and he should have another set of two medium tyres available for him. KD, Rosa doing the same strategy I did last night. Well, good luck there. Currently, Rosa Sky is going for the undercut. Remember that KD did 18, 19 odd laps on those hard tyres there. A good spot indeed there, KD. Incredible. So I was waffling away about something else. Shadows struggling with traction, and Slayer also struggling as well. And of course, getting a bit grass on the inside left tyre there. That's not going to help, is it? But there is Russell Sky then, right in the background there. Of course, he's got to do the same tyre stint now as KD. And KD was not, as we got a first 3-second penalty of the day. Again, of course, KD was quite quick as well towards the end of that race. Of course, he was absolutely flying, wasn't he? It's KD. So Russell Sky hoping for something similar. And of course, both drivers are in the McLaren stable this season. Here comes Slayer through and them to 11th position, and there goes Slayer, and now he would like to pull away, I think, from Shadows, while Shadows tries to get, as we got to Vintage, who's now into the pits, and I've gone on the wrong car, as now Groove Ninja getting past Kaidal and moving himself up to 14th position there. Of course, Australia's Grand Prix winner having a very tough old race, out here, as my goodness me, that there's battling tooth and nail there, and the Aston Martin of Mr. Elite is now been in 4th position there, and it's, of course, the second highest runner on those hard tyres, of course. So that is, this could be a crucial part of this Grand Prix. Mr. Elite, though, has got two medium shot runners in front of him, of Marsky, who's made his way back up to second, and of course, he was our pole sitter. I must say that pole position for the last 2 nights has not been ideal, has it, in this Grand Prix? But now Mr. Elite then, who's going to want to try and clear out those medium tyre runners as quickly as possible, or hoping that Irvine and Marsky comes into the pits on this lap there, and of course gets him out of the way. So he's got a clean pair of heels then. He would like to have DRS down that back straight, and you'll see there is R2P. Goodness gracious me, he's already around turn 13, whilst we're just coming into turn 13, and turn 13 is a very long left-hander, right-hander, goodness me, if it's left-hand. That's what I've been doing wrong all these years. I've been going wrong. I've been going on the wrong way there. That's why I've never been so good around this circuit. Mr. Elite, we're just watching from the rear wing of Mr. Elite then, as Venom is going to have a look then, but nothing more than that for the time being for Venom. I'm wondering if Venom would probably like to see those two medium runners come in the pits as well, so they do not cause any issues there. So Cody is definitely on a 2-stop strategy, going for a very aggressive 2-stop then. Irvine's in the pits then. Also in the pits is, I think that's Halsey in the pits. It is indeed that, as Rosa Sky getting past Liam is, not Liam, sorry, it is the Aston Martin of Slayer, who's gone very wide, and through he goes then as the kick salver of Jay Hings also in the pits as well. My word, and there's a lot of pit action here, goodness gracious me, and that is Irvine now on a fresh set of boots as well in the second McLaren Mercedes. And coming out of the pits now, Slayer then down into 7th position. There's all kinds of anarchy going on here at the moment, there isn't there? The highest runner who has come in the pits first was Cyrus Mushroom. He's jumped right up into 10th position. Of course, he was near the back of the field after issues on the opening lap. Then, of course, there I think had more issues there. But Mr. Cyrus Mushroom now up into 10th position and had gone for the undercut. But he's going to have to really tippy toe, isn't he there? So I think similar to Rosa Sky, can he get to the end on those hard tires? He's now got track position. Now can he make best use of it? Marsky then staying out on those medium tyres. Marsky is trying to extend the stint as long as possible so he does not spend any additional laps on those hard tyres there. And of course as well, this is going to be a factor later on this race then. So we're going to be keeping an eye on the likes of Ross and the likes of Cyrus Mushroom, who have come in the pits earlier on then, and to see how those tyres perform there. And look at Marsky, he's absolutely rocketed away, but unfortunately now for Marsky, here comes Mr. Elite. He's got to breeze past at the end of the long back straight then, and up the inside goes Mr. Elite. Track position there. Marsky's not going to make it too easy, is he there? And Marsky tries to go, gets a much better run actually, and I think the Mr. Elite is going to be very disappointed with that, but then again, and look, both are in the pits there. Mr. Elite is in the pits as well, so Mr. Elite is also going for a 2-stop strategy, whilst Ruthless Venom is now in 2nd position, and the two drivers who start on the hard tyres now leads the Grand Prix, 1st and 2nd there. I'm surprised to see Mr. Elite in, but Aston Martin have called to come in the pits and early on, and now very similar to Cody, he's going on a very aggressive 2-stopper here. Oh goodness me, that might have been a legal release there. So just watch how Cody now the order as Irvine gets past Cyrus Mushroom. Cyrus Mushroom there is trying to eke these tyres out, goodness me, they're all coming out, they're all feeding into each other. Of course, the pit exit here is very much in the firing line there. Through goes the racing ball of Halsey and now into 11th position. As Vintage has dropped, there's lots of position in all this anarchy, and that's because of Cyrus Mushroom, of course. So Cyrus Mushroom is undercutting all these drivers here, but it's on very old tyres there. Vintage going very deep there, isn't he? Into turn 6. Goodness gracious me. Just trying to make sure that they're awake in front of him. R2B is now 9 seconds up the road. To be fair to R2B, he could probably afford to just extend the stint as long as he can, and then come in the pits. But he will lose track position, of course. There will R2B. Ruthless Venom currently in 9th position. We just who was out in front of us whilst I was watching? It was Slayer and Cody. Cody on the fresh medium tyres, and Cody is through and up into 5th position. There he is. Look in front of him. That is Cody's on position. They are going to try and get to the end of the race. I'm sure sure of it, but Groove Ninja and Ross Sky. Remember, Groove Ninja has never finished on the podium. He's currently 4th at the moment, is Groove Ninja, and surely he will be undercutting Ruthless Venom, of course, who would then propel him back at the front. But Ruthless Venom will be a factor later on in this race. Mr. Elite back in the 2-9 position, and he passes Marsky, and this is a battle for position there. Both drivers have now swapped strategies, and they've gone for these different tyres on this stint now. Of course, Mr. Elite started on the hard, has gone medium. Marsky, who started on the medium, has gone hard tyres, but even the hard shot Red Bull, and Marsky has the pace around here in qualifying. Race has been a bit more tricky. Oh, goodness me, there was a contact going into turn 1. Marsky through. Mr. Elite then is going to be a bit disappointed by this one though, of course, because is a Mr. Elite then I wonder if it's getting too much thermal drag potentially on those medium tyres. But Mr. Elite would like to have a clear bit of track here to just not burn up these tyres and try and eke them out there to get to a sensible window and have another pit stop there. I believe that Mr. Elite and Cody are both, and Liam as well, is going to have a 2-stop race now, because those medium tyres are not going to get to the end. I am almost sure of it. I can't be more than almost sure of it, because I've been wrong before. Slayer has stayed out as well, and unbeknownst to me, so his only drivers that have not come into the pit lane is Venom, is R2 Beat, and Slayer. So they are extending their stint there. Of course, these drivers are going to try and get to a sensible window and try and get to. Oh, my goodness gracious me! My goodness me, everyone's breezed past Slayer. Slayer is trying to get to a decent window and trying to get those meter tyres there, but R2 Beat is in quite early. I thought he would have extended that stint, but R2 Beat there, of course, has got the leisure of having such a commanding lead, and here comes Halsey, and as he blast past them, the Red Bull of Marsky, and he's going to blast past the Aston Martin as well of Mr. Elite. No, he's not though, as RTB then is coming out of the pits now. Then he is going to be undercutted by Rosa Sky then, but has fresh medium tyres, and also Groove Ninja is through as well. So RTB is out in a 4th position, made that 5th actually, because he's now behind Cody is RTB, but he's got nothing to panic about at the moment. I don't believe it. Halsey is now in 9th position, whilst Marsky dropping down into 10th. It's been a very troublesome race, unfortunately for Marsky. Ooh, look at that! Did you hear that throttle there from Irvine there? Not going full throttle at all, and he's trying to just keep these tyres in the operating window. So 16 out of 28 here. Can the medium tyres go to the end from here on in then? I must admit, I'm not convinced, sir, unless the drivers of Slayer and R2B really looks after him. R2B has now got the fresher pair of set of tyres, and is now all over the back of Cody. This is the first time it's R2B being led in this race by anyone other than himself, of course, because R2B is led from start to finish up to lap 15 then before he's coming to the pits. And of course, he is going to probably be concerned by Irvine potentially there. Maybe Groove Ninja and Rosa Sky as well. Of course, we did see last night KD did get these tyres to the end there, and in a very good pace window, a very good pace as well. As now R2B is side by side, and he's going to be through past Cody. He is past Cody. Cody down into a 5th position there for Cody, but I think that Cody's going to be coming into the pits in the not too distant future. As look at that, lock it up. Was that the outside tyre there that was locked up from Cody? Ruthless is in the pits as well now. So Ruthless has extended his stint then ever so slightly by 1 extra lap compared to his rivals. They were on the same strategy. Irvine is now close enough to the back of Cody, but of course Cody is not going to let the McLaren through at just as easy as that. Serious Mushroom boxing early. That might have been a shrewd manoeuvre there from Serious Mushroom, of course, making his 123rd Grand Prix start in bronze tonight. And my goodness me, he's definitely very much showing his experience there. And of course, undercutting so early has got him out of that incredible fight between Mr. Elite, between Halsey, Marsky, Vintage, and Jay Hings there, because they're fighting hand over fist there, while Serious Mushroom is about 3-4 seconds up the road. As Irvine trying to go on the outside now, but no dice then, as Irvine is going to want to get past as quickly as possible then, but you can see he's now got Serious Mushroom for company as well. Serious Mushroom is going to be babysitting these tyres as much as he can, but that'll be the longest stint out of anyone. Oh, is Irvine there, of course, really sliding there, goodness me, wow, help there, of course, we did see a spinner there, and a gold, didn't we? I think that was Vesher that spun there, didn't he? And caught the safety car and gold, the only safety car of the week so far. Hopefully the admins are going to be praying I haven't given the commentator's curse there, as everybody's through and up to fourth position there. Serious Mushroom there is also got older tyres, of course, but of course for Serious Mushroom, he is on the more durable tyre. Everyone's also got DRS range as well there from Cody. Rosa Sky leads by 2.5 seconds there. Groove Ninja's in second. R2B has made his way up into third now and is all over the gearbox of Groove Ninja, but he didn't get past into the hairpin of turn 14. So he may have a chance going down into turn 1 as Cody's into the pits with 10 laps to go. R2B is set the pass on the race and it's also breezed past him second position there. So R2B has the pace at the moment there, but the question is, can he keep those tyres in the operating window? And hopefully they don't fall off a cliff. But Mr. Elite is now leading this gaggle of cars. The gap is down to 3 seconds between themselves and Serious Mushroom now. So Serious Mushroom might start to lose some pace as well. Halsey having to stiff up the inside and catching the rear tyre of Mr. Elite and almost spinning the car as well, Cody's out of the race there. So okay, that's not ideal. So he was very much flying high was Cody, but out of the Grand Prix. So don't know what's going on there for Cody. Maybe well, I don't know, to be honest, he's in the pit lane potentially, or I don't know, because he was going for a very, I thought he was going for an aggressive two-stopper there, but both Mercedes out of the Grand Prix, unfortunately. San out, Cody out as well there. Not a good start then for the Mercedes team there, and that's a shame then, isn't it? So it would have been interesting to see where Cody would have come out after those after the very aggressive two-stopper, which is the case, but that's not going to be the case anymore. Mr. Elite, I think, will still be on two-stop, and I think Liam still will be as well. Liam down in 13th position at the moment there, just following his teammate Venom, as you've got R2B now going for the lead of Rosa. He takes the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix. Of course, the story of the race now is for R2B to keep those tyres working, and of course, to keep in front of Rosa Sky. So Rosa Sky, if Rosa Sky can also keep his tyres in the operating window as well, then that could be the battle for the lead then. Groove Ninja's dropped off ever so slightly and is down on 7 points there. Mr. Elite is in 6th position there. His house is in 7th. Serious Mushroom's had enough of those tyres and is in the pit, so I think the Serious Mushroom might be going to the medium tyres for the final stint there. Halsey back him in the 5th position. Halsey's looking sitting very pretty here, isn't he? In a 7th position. So is Marvsky. Is going to sneak past up to 6th position there. Mr. Elite will have the inside into turn 3 and 4. Wheel to wheel then as Mr. Elite, and they're locking up there. They're locking wheels there as Mr. Elite and Marsky almost coming to blows there. That was a very cause for concern, but Marsky's going to sail up the inside. He does sail up the inside and gets 6th position there, but Mr. Elite is going to come back at him now. This is great racing, is there? Great side-by-side action. Mr. Elite using all his experience in Grand Prix racing to keep ahead of Marsky, but to keep ahead of Marsky, goodness gracious me. But Marsky's going to be absolutely furious. And look at Vintage up into 8th position. Webb Stafford, once again, like in Australia, has of course having a bit of a difficult start to the race. Now all of a sudden, come alive in the second half of this race. And I think that Webb Stafford is probably going to be sitting the happiest of any drivers that are on the hard tyres going to the end of the race there. Serious Mushroom's come out in 16th position there. Of course, the top 15 does score positions there. Here comes the kick salver of Webb Stafford all over the back of Vintage. He's also having a very strong race. It's great to see Vintage fighting in the heart of the points there, in the upper echelons of the points as well for Vintage. But look at this then, as this crocodile is just getting longer and longer. Rosa Sky has had enough. He's in the pits then. So Rosa Sky is coming into the pits then, so he's not going to extend this stint, and he is going for a two-stop strategy as well. I love these races with two stoppers. It's fantastic, isn't it? That's what I think we've had great racing for gold, silver and bronze here tonight. Look at Webb Stafford through it over to 7th position there for the kick salver. 3-second penalty, unfortunately, for Liam then. Hello, Chazza. Good evening to you. Banging the side pot there. Hopefully that wasn't damage there to the Aston Martin or the Red Bull. My goodness me, they used Aston Martin and Red Bull had a partnership in 2018 or 2019, but goodness me, that is certainly not going to they're certainly not going to be sending each other Christmas cards after that blow. I can assure you of that. Mr. Lee is now into 6th position there, and Marsky there, I think he's just getting more and more frustrated there, isn't he, in this battle for 6th and 7th, 5th and 6th position. Webb Stafford, what a drive once again there. Absolutely good stuff indeed. And Anarchy Reaper. Come on, Halsey, currently in a superb fourth position. On board with Webb Stafford, like Marsky on a similar tyre life. Rosa Sky is on hard tyres again. I wonder if Rosa Sky had to pit because his tyre life was so high. So Rosa Sky is down in 12th position at this moment in time then. So is R2B going to get to the end then? Because looking at that then, the hard tyres did not last very long at all on this second stint. It's a very hot day here in Shanghai. We do have a bit of cloud cover, as you can see, on this 1.2 kilometre straight there. Here's Webb Stafford there. He is making moves and he's driving superbly well. He's having a sniff, but nothing more than that. As it's because Marsky also has DRS on the back of Mr. Elite there. Oh, contact there as someone's ploughed into the back of him. I'm not sure if that was vintage or ruthless. I think that might have been vintage there. As Webb Stafford there. Hopefully he hasn't got damaged. Mr. Elite is into the pits now. Hopefully vintage ain't got damaged. Even North ruthless pedal. I think it was vintage there. Goodness gracious me. And yes, Smith and White just made the most important comment of the day. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already with a fist bump there. We want to get to 800 subscribers, is it, this season, or 900? Uh-oh, I've just turned the stream off. You want to get to 800 or 900 subscribers this season, so yes, indeed, then. And I've completely broke my stream now. Oh, that's not good at all, so maybe I should just leave that alone. So whilst I was having some issues with my tech, Webb Stafford down in 5th position, Ruthless Venom is down in 6th, Vintage is 7th. I don't think Vintage lost any of his front wing when he went into the back of Webb Stafford. Now Webb Stafford driving superbly well. He is flying out there, Webb Stafford, isn't he? Impressive stuff again. The second half of these races is absolutely perfection for Webb Stafford. He comes alive in these later laps and brilliant stuff. Just like in Australia, he is flying through the field. Is Webb Stafford at the moment. Mega stuff indeed there. R2P currently leads the way there. Nosey, let go, gold then, man. Thank you, Sean, for doing comments. Absolutely no problem at all. Of course, because I'm enjoying this race, and of course, I would enjoy the race anyway. But I must admit, I've enjoyed my Chinese experience this week. It's been fantastic, hasn't it? With the amount of strategical calls and all that kind of jazz. And here comes Webb Stafford. My goodness me, from the lower half of the field, he's now up into 5th position. Marsky's gone very wide there. Let me get that tower off there. Marsky's gone very wide, but Webb Stafford has the position, has the high ground, and of course, we know that the high ground is very important here. Serious Mushroom making waves. He's now into 10th position there. I must say, drive today is going to be very difficult to choose, isn't there? My personal pick at the moment with 6 laps to go is Webb Stafford there. So apologies, Webb Stafford. That obviously means it's the commentator's curse. I hope I haven't done that because he's driven superb today. Absolutely blinding stuff indeed. Group Ninja down to 12th position. Group Ninja had the pace, didn't he, in the early stages there, but once again though, issues in the latter issues in the race there, and he's dropping down the order there. As you can see, both Ferraris having quite an adventure here tonight then. Oh, and Bill's was not very good, unfortunately. Nosey was saying. And what did you have? Of course, Nosey was ordered about half an hour ago when he was in the admin chat, and apparently the food hadn't arrived. I just assumed that Farf was on the grill. Not literally on the grill, even though I'm sure that Farf will make a lovely tendered steak. But no, Farf, of course, probably. I wonder if Farf is very good in the kitchen. I don't really know, to be honest. But he does strike me as a man that it would be quite lethal with the old fork and knife. R2P is currently 6 seconds in front of Irvine, with Halsey now up into the top 3, whilst I've been waffling away and wondering what Bill's is like, instead of actually watching the race, which is not very good, is it? Here comes Ruthless Venom, then medium tyres are up into 6th position. Don't make that 5th position there. Marsky, pole sitter for the first time in his career tonight, down in 6th position. And Marsky, is Venom there getting a very ruthless back end there, as you goodness me, trying to get on the traction. Kydal and Shatters there fighting for position as well. Kydal back up into 12th position now. Of course, Kydal won the race last week, but it's not been ideal. Groove Ninja is really struggling out there at the moment, isn't he? But having said that, he's just overtaken Mushroom there, so maybe I've called that completely wrong. And also we've got shadows all over the gearbox as well. Crispy, sticky duck starter and a chicken schnitzel mate. I don't really know what a schnitzel is, to be honest. It's a very interesting word, but I've never... Is it like a sausage? I do love a sausage. Gap is 6.1 seconds. I can't say RGB is drawing superbly well, but he's not out of the woods yet, is he? Because we ain't even in the woods here in Shanghai. Even though there's a lot of development going on, is there? If you look at the starting grid picture from 2004, and then find a picture from 2024 China. It's incredible because they didn't have many high-rising buildings around this area of Shanghai, and then you see like it's completely changed. It's absolutely fantastic to do. Fantastic. Schnitzel is breaded chicken. Blah blah blah. Well, you learn something new every day. Every day is a school day, isn't it, in ALR? Of course, we do talk about very interesting stuff indeed. I've got to say, food is always on the agenda. Oh, no, that's not it. That's web staffing. Oh, goodness me. And I am absolutely devastated. And I think at this race as well, didn't Martin Brundle say I haven't been this disappointed since Shrek 2? Well, I certainly haven't been this disappointed since Shrek 3, because I think that was the rubbish one. That is such a shame for Web Staffing. I am devastated because Web Staffing was my driver of the day, and I apologise profusely to Web Staffing, and I think I'm off his Christmas card list now, so that's not good, is it? Gosh, I know how to make friends, don't I? Here comes Marsky trying to get back that position he lost a few laps ago. Marsky on the outside. Oh, goodness me. Contact down into turn 1. This is going to be a very edge-of-your-seat final couple of laps, then, isn't it? Who is the highest runner? Rosasky is the highest runner on fresh, hard tyres here. KD. For the man that eats surprise, for the man that eats a surprise, you didn't know what a schnitzel is, says KD. Absolutely, you would think that food is certainly on a you would think that food is my best subject. However, only eat ham and cheese sandwiches and chicken. And pork and beef as well. Basically, I eat all the bad stuff. So, is a schnitzel a good thing? I do not know, to be honest. I do know that don't Germany have schnitzel trucks or something like that. I watched this. I think I watched this very old cartoon called Hoodwinked back in my youth. One of the funniest cartoons you'll ever see, and it was kind of out there as well. I think the guy who voiced Kronk is in it as well, and I've got to say, I love that man. He's one of my favourite men all time, apart from Lewis Hamilton, of course. Anthony, Sean's race. 1 minute. What's happened? I'll come back to you in a minute because Kydal is off the circuit, where Vestier had issues earlier on in this one. Kydal recovers there, but that's more damage there for the Ferrari. It's been a nightmare race for the man who won in Australia just a few days ago. It has been a pretty disappointing race indeed. Rosa Sky is now in front of this crocodile, but I think that Rosa Sky is now running out of laps, and Halsey and Irvine are carrying on the podium. What drives there from those drivers out there? What drive from RTB? He's absolutely commanded this race win, going for a lead so far. Oops. Hopefully RTB then can keep it going then for the final stage of this Grand Prix. John's commentary: 20% of the race, 80% doodles. Absolutely. Hopefully they're not rude doodles either, Anthony. I'll be disappointed in you. Having said that, that's how I passed my English in college. Basically, I was drawing very rude pictures on my mate's workbook. I did get out of the class a lot of the time, but ironically, I passed. It was English. I had to retake English because I failed it in school. And I don't even know. I tried in school. I even revised in school, and then in college it was kind of more of a just basically a long lesson, to be fair. Goodness me, that was like 20 odd years ago. I feel so old then. Irvine and Marsky will gain towards the end. Mediums won't last for the guys ahead. Loving it, says Anthony. Absolutely, and of course we love having you here as well. Of course, Anthony. A multiple Grand Prix start as well. I can't see where you are on my spreadsheet, shamefully. Dare I do the Control F on my keyboard 1 second? Oh, you're all the way down there. Of course, Anthony making 29 appearances like that. And of course, owning 2 DNFs as well, with 2 podiums, 2 fast laps, and 2 drivers as well. That makes me very happy, actually. That's quite a nice, perfect 2-2-2. I love it. As long as it's 666, of course, which probably was against my name. Jay Hings is now all over the back of Vintage. I would also say the Vintage driver today as well. By the way, driver of the day is in the polls, is in the comments as well. I should have read them out. I apologise, but of course, luckily, all 5 of you have already voted already then. So it just shows that you don't need my opinion there. But driver of the day is out then. Halsey, 60% of the vote, 20% for Web Stafford, and 20% for RTB. Irvine is also on that, is also in the driver of the day award as well. 26 out of 28 here then in this this very hotly anticipated Chinese Grand Prix. It's not even hotly anticipated, it's a hotly anticipated end as well. As Webb Staffen is catching to the back of Rosa Sky, who's got a 3-second penalty. Look at this, it's gone very overcast now. So this may help the tyres inch towards the end of this one. Of course, we've got Ruthless, who I think is going to struggle towards the end here. Marsky is struggling to get past Ruthless. Ruthless has done an absolutely stunning job on those medium tyres, as has R2B as well. R2B is still flying up there. The gap is up to 7 seconds. This is the biggest gap out of anyone in the Chinese Grand Prix. Oh, that's a big lockup from Halsey there in third position there. But Halsey on course then to get his best result of his career then so far. And of course, he's had a fourth position, but Halsey on course to get his first podium of his career there. But that is all I'm going to say, because we already know that I've given the commentator's curse to Webb Staffen. Here comes Jay Hings there, almost losing the back end there. Rosa Sky is also starting to find some pace as well. There's Rosa Sky then. He's going to be in the middle. That's a big lockup again for one of the cars in front of us there. As now Jay Hings is up into fifth or sixth position there. Rosa Sky, can it go up and under with just 2 laps to go in this Grand Prix? Oh my goodness me, it's going to be very much edge of your seat stuff here tonight then. R2B is 7 seconds up the road. Webb Staffen. Oh, that is such a shame for Webb Staffen. I'm so sorry. I really am. That's why I shouldn't say anything. Nice on the outside. Was there contact? Potentially, but they've all got it points in the right direction. As what's happened there? Webb Staffen's off the circuit. There's yellow flags fluttering in turn 1, and Serious Mushrooms in the facility as well. Wherever there's mischief, Mushrooms always there. But he's in 9th position and on 9 laps old tyres there. But Groove Ninja also trying to come through the field as well. It looks like the 2 stoppers once again. It just hasn't worked out in this race. It really hasn't indeed there. But how do you get to the end if those tyres just fall off the cliff then? It is certainly an art. As Jay Hings is crawling. What's happened to Jay Hings there? As Jay Hings is very slow at the moment there. He's done 14 only. He's done 14 laps there on those hard tyres there. In the front now, R2B has done 11, 12 laps on those medium tyres coming to end this race. What a superb stint. Same with Slayer as well in 14th position. Good stuff there from drivers up and down the field. I absolutely bow down to all these tyre ticklers out here tonight. Absolutely superb stuff indeed. Marsky, I think it's been a tough race tonight for Marsky, of course, like in turn 1, like last night, and turn 1 was quite crucial. Marsky had a very difficult start. He just didn't get the launch, did he? Marsky's now into 4th position. Ruthless Venom there has done, like RTB and also Slayer, he's done such a good job on those medium tyres. I was not expecting them to get to the end there. And Serious Mushroom is swapped position. And who's that in the middle? That's Jay Hings, isn't it? Oh my goodness me. And Jay Hings has been overtaken side by side there. Webb Staffen trying to get back past his teammate, as well as the Kick Salvers are 10th and 11th at the moment. So Serious Mushroom's going to have to get defensive out here. Is on the outside goes Webb Staffen there. Serious Mushroom has the inside. Webb Staffen up the inside into turn number 3. I think it is up the inside. But Mushroom there keeps the position. But that Ferrari is wagging its tail there, and not ideal at all. R2B then is, Groove Ninja going up the inside. He's doing it for Ricardo. Yes, he's done it, has he? He's got past Vintage, and Open Vintage haven't done it. This is Vintage's best performance in such a long time, and we love to see it. Great stuff indeed. Kaidar set the fast of the race. I think for Kaidar, that's going to be the commiseration point then. Well, it's been a very difficult race, and what a shame there after it's been such a good Australian Grand Prix for Kaidar, and then it's just gone to pot. But who was that? I thought someone flew off the road there in the background there, as Jay Hings is struggling, as R2B is coming down the back straight for the 28th and final time then. And I must say that it's going to get very precarious indeed then. I don't know who to watch, to be honest, as Venom is now losing out to Rosa Sky. And here comes Venom. I apologise to Venom because I'm Rosa Sky as out of the final turn, and R2B wins the Chinese Grand Prix. That's his first win of his career in Bronzer. And we got 3 abreast down into that final hairpin as well. And Serious Mushroom is almost spun the car. He has spun the car. Webb Staffen's back up into 9th, but he does have a penalty. Rosa Sky dropping down the order. Groove Ninja is 7th. Vintage is 8th. Webb Staffen will finish 10th there, as he could have finished as high as 5th or 6th in this race. Incredible stuff indeed. But it's R2 beat his first Grand Prix win in bronze there. And goodness me, his first two races of bronze, he has been second and he's been first. He just needs third now to complete all the podium steps, but I don't think he wants to finish third there after the performance here tonight. That is a dominating race from R2 beat there. I think that one of the most controlling races we've seen in a long time here. Incredible stuff indeed. And Halsey getting his first podium of his career in ALR. What a superb race it was for Halsey. Then, of course, his best start was fourth up until today. But what a drive on those hard tires. The one-stop strategy was the preferred strategy. So I didn't see if anyone retired there or not. Then, unfortunately. Well, a second and the first for R2 beat. Absolutely splendid stuff indeed. Meanwhile, R2 beat at the front there, says Anthony. Absolutely. Just having a leisurely drive here on a Wednesday night there as he waves to the crowd. But we're going to just go for the final classification then from the Chinese Grand Prix round 2 of the bronze season. And very interesting stuff indeed. Right, R2 beat his first win of his career in a bronze, I should say. Second position is Irvine. Third position is Halsey on his debut from 11th to 3rd. Magnificent stuff indeed. Marsky, his first pole position of his career, but unfortunately only fourth in the end. Red Bull did have a 1-2 at the start of this race, but Marsky struggled. Ruthless Venom on his return to bronze, back in fifth position. Great stuff. Rosa Sky in 6th, with Groove Ninja in 7th, with Vintage. Great drive in 8th position. Serious Mushroom recovered to 9th position. Webb Staffen has recovered from 19th to 10th. A great drive from Webb Staffen. Unfortunately, could have been a lot higher up as well. Mr. Elite in 11th, Shatters in 12th on his return as well. Good stuff with Slayer and Liam 13th, 14th, and 15th. Kaido gets the fastest up there with Real Ashton in 70th position. Both Mercedes out of the Grand Prix there. Don't know what happened to Cody, because Cody looked quite it's on an aggressive strategy, but just come in and decide to call it a day. My goodness me, maybe his team was ready. I do not know. Right, I've got some friends in the commentary box now. I'm not sure if they refer to me as a friend or a chum or just some random ginger guy. But anyway, let's go to our race winner and the first time in his bronze career, and R2B. Well, this doesn't look too shabby at all. A second position on your debut race, and now a Grand Prix win here tonight as well. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah, it's going great the first 2 races of the season. It was from the start I was like scared because I was starting on the hards and I only saw the yellow mediums next to me, and I was like, did I do the wrong thing? But I think in the end it worked out for me. So
I was probably. Oh, sorry.
Oh, shit. Say what you want to say.
Oh, don't tempt me. And then it goes you had an absolutely dominant race today. I must say that this is probably one of the most commanded races I've seen in a very long time. It looked quite leisurely out there as well. When you was extending your stint then, well, no, before we get into that pit stop window, you mentioned you was a bit concerned about starting on the hard tires. Was you concerned because you could have been swamped going into turn 1?
Yeah, everything could have happened. If you have a really bad start, what can happen on the hards? Then you drop back like 4 or 5 places. Then you get a hectic first corner because everybody is off his line because you are slow. So that's why I was a bit scared the first lap. And I tried to give my teammates some space, but it didn't really work out in the end, I think. But yeah, it was in the end, I took his first position. I didn't expect that, but I was first in the first corner, so yeah, that helped really a lot.
It absolutely did. And then, of course, from then on in, basically, you just kept pulling away. And, of course, we've seen over the last 2 nights how difficult it is to get out of that DRS train. But it seemed to be quite easy for you as well. Was you like looking back and thinking, where is everyone? Or was you happy with the hard tires at the time on that first stint?
No, at the beginning I got overtaken by Groove Ninja, I believe, and yeah, I was like, okay, there we go. I'm going to drop back in the beginning, and how far, but we will see. But yeah, behind me there was also a fight, so we could escape from the first DRS train with the 2 of us, and then I think his tires dropped off fast, or they are overheating a bit too much, and then I could easily overtake him again, and then I was gone. because yeah, I think the yeah, it's really hard on traction on this track. So yeah.
And of course, there's a moment in the race as well where I said you could probably just pit whenever you like, really, because you had such a commanding lead. But when you came in the pits, and was that the lap you was going to come in the pit, or did you come in early, or did you come in later? What was the tactics to come in the pits?
Yeah, I just only did the 100% race, and I didn't practice for today's race. But yeah, I remember the 100% race and it went really well. So I just took that setup. I saw I stopped twice, so thought, okay, 50% one time is doable. And yeah, I was like, okay, what I'm going to do, I take the default strategy, and we will see from there. And yeah, that's where I go from. And the VSC came, and I was like, should I go in the pits? But yeah, then I shoot 20 laps or something on the mediums, and I think that wasn't possible. So I just took the default strategy.
And then, of course, that final stint as well. Of course, you did have to do some overtakes, but I must say that you definitely picked and chose your opportunities to get through. And then once you got through the two guys on the hard tires, you just pulled away again. Was your tire off towards the end of the race then very much at a critical point, or was you just enjoying life out there? It seemed like you were.
Yeah, I was like saving the tires, just and watching the gap, like just see what happens. Try to keep it a bit steady or let it grow a bit, and um, after 4 or 5 seconds away, then that's where I stalled for the in the long right-handers. The left tires are like yeah, they're really going away fast underneath you. So a little bit less on the throttle, and then you save them a lot, and it's easier to just keep your lap steady than have a really fast lap and then drop off, and uh, from there on, it's really hard to recover.
And goodness me, I usually say how difficult is it to keep concentration, but it certainly was. How difficult was it to actually just not to come complacent towards the end of that racing? Because he was even extending the gap towards the end of the race when the medium tire should have been dropping off. So how difficult was it just to not get complacent?
Yeah, that's what I said. I set a target lap time for myself, and every lap I want to try the same lap time, and then I have my goal in every race you can have a goal. If you drive first or 20th, it doesn't matter. There's always a goal for yourself to achieve. Let's try this corner to do it a little bit better, or the next one was bad in the previous lap. I want to improve that one for this lap. Yes, so you can. It doesn't matter what your position is. There's always a goal for yourself. And yeah, we're doing this for fun, right? So yeah, and winning is making it even more fun.
Oh, and now let's talk about the goal for the rest of the season then. First two races then, two podiums, a second and a first then. What a perfect start for yourself then. After these two races, then, we've got a short season then, of course. I think it's only 15 rounds to go. But is it too early to think that you've got the pace to win the championship? Is it too early to start to maybe think that I just need to I need to get these amount of points here, there, and all the rest of the circuits? Or how do you approach it after the incredible start to the season? Is basically what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, I will try to do it one by one, and these are two tracks I really like, Australia and China. I really love them to drive, so that also is in my favorite. So on other tracks, we will see because yeah, these two tracks I really like. So I've driven it a lot in all these years. So yeah, that also helps in the end, some experience. And yeah, we will see. I have no goal for the entire season or something. I just like to drive and like to race with you guys. And yeah, a little bit more close racing is nicer to be more in the pack. So hopefully next race we have more fights.
And of course, talking about the next race as well, we got the Wheel of Fortune or Misfortune, where we spin the wheel about 20 minutes before the start, before we get into the session. Then, what are your thoughts on that then? Because we got a choice of three races then, and the drivers will not know what race they're going to be in until they get in the lobby. Then, are you a fan of this?
Uh, yes, I'm a fan of it, but it doesn't really help me. I drive without any assists, and yeah, it makes it even harder to practice for all three tracks. I didn't even have time for today, so yeah, it doesn't help me, but I really like it. All those kind of fun stuff, also what you do in the event league, I really love it.
To be honest, I hope you don't take this wrong with us. Music to our ears after the performance you had today, then, because of course we love to make drivers' lives miserable. Thank you very much, RTB. What a drive! The
Thank you.
first win of your career in bronze, fantastic stuff. And let's come to Irvine then. Of course, a podium tonight, and of course going for the one stop as well. Then of course the medium to the hard tire. But Irvine, how difficult was it to know who you was racing? Because there's drivers on two stoppers, there's drivers going from hard to medium tires, and I swallowed my tongue there. I'm not even commentating. And how difficult was it to understand where you were coming out of the pack?
Wasn't that difficult, really. First stint kind of stuck in a DRS train, couldn't really get close to Marvsky in front. So, and then I had the hard runners behind me, and they, apart from I think the Mercedes having a go, no one else really got close. And then the VSC kind of threw a spanner in the works because a couple of people jumped in then. And then basically it was do my own race then, follow Marvsky. I hoped he didn't box the same lap as me. He didn't. So I managed to get the undercut on him, and then it was just all about doing my own race from there then. Once I saw R2 Beat come out the pits after his stop, considering he was probably about 10 seconds in front of me after the first stint, I thought, I'm not, if I keep it clean, I'm on for a good result.
Yeah, it just shows how simple I am, because I had no idea what was going on in that race. But and then of course with the podium as well. Then I'll bet you're overjoyed with this, aren't you? Do you feel that this is going to be a start of a good roll then going into the next several rounds? And do you think it's all about momentum in this sport?
Well, I'm not used to being this high up after the last couple of years, so uh, I forgot what it felt like. But hopefully, I can keep it going. I think I missed the next work, but hopefully, when I'm back, yeah, the momentum stays, and hopefully more podiums. Where I am.
So you could give us a opinion about this wheel, because I've been making a big old fuss about this wheel. So a lot of the drivers are not really keen on it. R2 Beat kind of likes it, but at the same time does throw a bit of a curveball in there. Next week then, when you're at work then, what do you think about this wheel then? Of course, for yourself, for example, how would you prepare for a race then when you don't know that you don't know what race is going to come up then, just 20 minutes before the start of the Grand Prix?
To be honest, I'm so glad I'm not involved next week because that wheel of fortune or misfortune doesn't sound pleasant at all. So uh, I get limited time to practice anyway, so it would just have to be a case of wing it, I think.
That's what I do with my life, to be fair. Absolutely. But of course, coming back to the Grand Prix today, then, of course, it's a great result for yourself. And but of course, you are missing a couple of races. Does that mean though that you can't get momentum going on then? Because how frustrating is it that you got to miss a couple of races, or do you think it's actually quite a good break then from the old from the old monopoly that ALR is?
Uh, well, I guess by the time back, the result will show whether momentum's a big thing or not. I think last week I didn't do too great in Australia, so then I had a bit more time to practice this week and got a good result. So, yeah, might start off a bit shoddy, improve in the coming weeks.
Thank you very much, everyone. Great job to get an opponent today. Absolutely superb stuff. And then let's come to Halsey then, of course, getting his first podium of his career. And I must say, Halsey then, very similar to our to beat last night. I'm going for a very long going for a very long second stint on those hard tires. Then, same question I asked Irvine. Then, how difficult was it to know what was going on in the race? Then, Irvine said it was quite simple, but I must admit, I was absolutely kerfuffled throughout the race.
Uh, Good evening. Nice to speak to you. to start with. To be honest with you, I wasn't paying any attention to what anybody else was doing. I was too concentrated on what I was doing, in all fairness. Qualifying was, I mean, P11 on the grid, but only half a second off, so that felt a bit of a swipe, to be fair. I thought maybe it would be inside the top 10 rather than out the top 10, but obviously got away on the start. It's a bit of kerfuffle into turn one, as there always is in China. You know, it's a difficult turn one. So just tried to get through the first few laps clean, and then just settle in really, and just settled into some pace and just chipped away really. I wasn't trying to pay too much attention. The only thing I was noticing was how far beat was gone out in front. I knew it, as the stint went on, the first stint on the mediums, as it went on, I sort of started to reel in the guys towards the front end, which I was a little bit surprised about. But again, in all fairness, look, I'm not going to lie, I've used anybody and anybody I could to give me a little bit of a tow. I think it's probably no secret the lads will have definitely spotted. I think I was running maybe the highest downforce setup out there, potentially. So straight line speed was a bit of an issue, but through the first sector, second sector, I had it all covered off. So I was just sort of making my time there and trying to stay in the window and defend down the back straight, and just see where it took me really. And yeah, quite surprised. I think maybe a couple of guys that two-stopped. Was it Rosa, Groove Ninja, I think, and Mushroom as well, I think two-stopped. I think maybe those guys might have been ahead of me had they have just one stopped. So, yeah, take it with a pinch of salt stuff for me.
And of course, yeah, you just mentioned about going on to the higher downforce side. Was that always the plan then, to come in the pits fairly early and then go on the hard tires because you knew the higher downforce would have helped your tire wear? Or am I completely on the wrong path on that one?
It's probably a little bit the wrong path. I mean, I think I pitted what, lap 12. I didn't have too much left in the tank in terms of the tyres at that point in time, to be honest with you. I think I was into the mid 70s, high 70s, so I could have only done another one lap, maybe 2 laps if I was pushing it. But obviously after what happened last week, I don't want to be pushing the tyres too far. So that was about all I could get out of the medium. It was, you know, that was pretty much the plan from get-go, was stop at lap sort of 12, 11 if I needed to try the undercut, which in the end Vintage done on me, but we had a good little battle and I managed to get him back. But yeah, no, always the plan to go to lap 12, and I couldn't have really gone any more. I could try and big myself up and say I could, but I honestly couldn't.
And of course, these races seem to be marginal because there's a couple of drivers going for 2 stops, as you mentioned, the likes of Cirrus Mushroom. And now, of course, yourself, Irvine, and Archie Beat went for a 1 stop. What do you think about these races? I must admit, personally, I love these mixed bag with strategies. But did you find that these races are much more enjoyable to race against your competitors, or is it just same mode?
No, I can't lie. I mean, I'm getting a little bit frustrated with this constant DRS battle round pretty much every track. It is slightly getting boring with me. Just everybody running a low downforce setup, and you can't pass them down a straight, and then they're an absolute, you know, liability through anything that's tight and twisty. But you know, passing is difficult through tight and twisties. It takes 2 good drivers to be able to do it in most tracks. So and we don't always get this luxury. And you know, I'm not talking about just ALR. I'm talking about sim racing in general. You know, there's better guys than others, and some can do it. Some I'd be happily confident driving side by side around the whole track. Others, maybe not so. But generally, on the whole, it's pretty good here. But yeah, no, look, I think it's like I said, it's frustrating being stuck because I normally run higher downforce setups because that plays to my strengths better. I'm more of the consistent guy rather than the pace guy. So consistency comes with being you know, stable, and a stable higher downforce setup is generally over 28 laps, 29 laps, whatever, you know, over a race distance is, for me, generally a better plan than trying to be quick over 1 lap and making too many mistakes. Because, you know, again, done a little bit of practice beforehand and did 5 lap stints just on a couple of different setups, and I tried a lower downforce setup because I was going to try and, you know, be a big boy and put on my big boy pants and try some low downforce setup here tonight. But over 5 laps, I was faster with a higher downforce setup. You know, 1 lap out of the 5, I was probably quicker with a lower downforce, but the other 4, I was more quick over the 5 laps with a higher downforce. So yeah, and I stuck with what I know in terms of that. And then I think, in terms of the stops, I think it's always, most tracks, again, if you can get away with a 1, then you've got to get away with it. Some are a bit closer on the Delta in terms of 2 stopping it, but I think, probably most of the guys, I think if you speak to the guys that 2 stopped, like I said, I think it was Rosa, Ninja, Mushroom, was there someone else? Maybe Mr. Elite, because he went missing at one point, so maybe Mr. Elite too. They might well have just had to pit. I don't know whether it was a strategic choice to wanting to do the 2 stop. I think it probably is more to the case of they have to. Again, everyone's a bit different. Pad versus wheel is a bit different. Traction ABS versus no traction ABS is different. So I guess, I think those guys probably just had to do the 2 stop. I'd be surprised if they actually chose that thinking it was the fastest way around, but so yeah, I think they were just forced into it. So yeah, there's always 1 stop for me.
Very interesting stuff. Thank you very much, Halsey. And one more query before I go to bed. Talking about next week as well. Of course, I've mentioned about this wheel, which I'm making a big deal of it. It's probably going to be a big deal. But next week, then, of course, you're only going to know about what race you're going to be raced on 20 odd minutes before the start of the session. Then, what is your opinion on that? And do you think that's going to play into your strengths next week?
I mean, it's a 50-50 lottery, isn't it? I mean, do I like the idea? I'm not sure. Does it spice things up in terms of racing in the championship? Yep, 100%, because, we don't know what we're going to be doing, so practice time is going to be very, very limited. It's the same for everybody, so nobody can complain at the end of the day. Nobody's got any biased effects. What I'm like in terms of statistics and things like that. I've got a notepad next to me with all my race data from every track, from every time I've raced it, where I've finished, what strategy I've done, how much fuel I've used, brake bias, transmission, blah, 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 blah. So, look, for me, I'm not worried about it. I think it could play into my strengths because I've got data on my notepads to reference off. So, versus somebody that hasn't got that data or whatever, then potentially, yes, I might be in a better position. But, again, it's a bit of a lottery for me. It could, again, we all have our sort of favourite tracks and not so favourite tracks. So, again, it might fall and spin and be somebody's favourite track, even if they haven't had loads of practice or whatever. It's still one of their favourite tracks. So, I think generally it's, like I said, it's a bit of a 50-50. Same for all. It's going to work for some, not work for others. But, it's a way of trying to spice up the championship a little bit in terms of, the results. I mean, I guess the proof will be in the pudding next week when we see the top 5, top 10, see who's in there and who's not, see whether it actually does prove to be worthwhile or whether it doesn't. But yeah, we'll see. Not afraid of it, but not necessarily saying I love it either. I'm in the middle.
Thank you very much. Brilliant stuff indeed. Very well done to House to get his first podium of his career. Irvine now on the podium as well, and Archie Beat getting his first Grand Prix win now. And I must admit, I'm salivating at that data. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And I'm also salivating at the pudding as well. On Sunday, then, it will be a mystery Grand Prix for the Event League. And of course, then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be getting those wheels of fortune or misfortune getting spun around then. Of course, the streams will start probably about 5-10 minutes earlier than normal, and then we'll spin that wheel, and then that's when we get going then. So I'll see you on Monday. That's when I'm back in the booth. Knowlesy is back in the booth on Sunday. You'll be thanking your lucky stars to hear. Now I will be going to